Hi guys, I hope we're all okay. I just wanted to encourage us and share something today. It's not going to be anything new that you haven't heard before, but it was just something this week that I just felt God was kind of reminding me of, that I wanted to remind all of us of and encourage us. On Saturday I took Isaac swimming and I was watching him swim, and I haven't been for a little while. Mark normally gets that job. But I drew the short straw, I guess, and I was there, and I realised just how well he was actually doing, how much he'd come on, and every time he was swimming in a line, he'd get almost to the end and he'd be ahead of the others and swimming really well until he looked around to see where the others were, and he slowed down, and his his style or how he was swimming got all messed up and out of sync, and he had to put his feet down and stop and then start again, and it just kind of reminded me of running the race, swimming the race, whatever the race looks like, of that verse in Hebrews 12. So Hebrews 12 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up. And let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith." Just really reminded me, and just kind of made me think about us and faith and the race God has set out for us. God has designed each and every one of us uniquely and individually, and made us up into who we are, and that is the same for the race he's asked us to run. And sometimes, so often, we are running our race for God well until we start looking around at what others are doing, what others have, what others don't have, what kind of comparing ourselves or looking either side at what's going on, and it slows us down and it stops our progress, and it means that we are not keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus at the end, but looking either side to what's going on around us. And it just kind of reminded me, watching Isaac swim like that, of this verse, and I just felt God just reminding us to keep our eyes on him, to not look around, to not get distracted by what others are doing, to fully understand that our race is uniquely designed for us. It is designed for, just specially for us, with our own purpose. It's not the same as everybody else's, it's our own. My race is not going to be the same as your race, but God has uniquely and individually designed you to run a unique and individual race for you, and just to encourage you to keep going with that, with perseverance, with endurance, to keep going, to keep your eyes fixed on Jesus, to keep running the race that was designed for you, to not run someone else's race, to not run a race designed for someone else, to not change yourself to run a race in a way that you think you should be running it, but to keep going with what God has asked you to do for your reason, for your race, for your specific unique purpose that God has designed you for, and keep your eyes fixed on him and keep running.